All right, week 11. I know everyone's big question is, again, how are we going to respond to adversity? Frankly, if you asked me that question, I said the reality is I don't think there's a better group of coaches, staff, support, and frankly players that embrace the challenge of being able to go to a hostile environment in a super competitive race to go find a way. And you know what? It's not letting that adversity beat us twice. It's the opportunity for us to, again, go back to work. The guys have done a great job all week, and excited about the game plan that we've put together.
With Duke, how do they stress you off offensively? What do they do to put you to give you some challenges?
Yep. Well, it starts with personnel. They've got really good personnel. Again, you go across the board. They've got a good quarterback. They're good up front. They got good running backs. They've got good receiving core, and then again, what they do is they do a great job as far as winning contested one-on-ones across the board. So, goodness, we got a good challenge in front of us this week.
Your corners this past week, a couple of different pass breakups from different guys. What are you seeing from that cornerback group? Robinson, Platt, and Carnley.
You just it boils down to is just competing and winning their one-on-one, and what they've done is a great job of trusting their technique, and ultimately competing. And that's what it comes down to with contested one-on-one balls is, will you, again, use your technique, use all of that great athleticism, and will you be fanatical as far as finding ways to get that ball out?
Their quarterback has some big numbers nationally. Is he the best quarterback you've faced this season?
Without a doubt, he's the next one we face. And he is, he is, you look at it, really good arm strength, can create in the pocket, can beat you with his legs. And then he's surrounded with good skill. And so they've done a nice job of not turning the ball over and being really efficient on offense. So, excited to be able to, for our guys to go compete against him.
As we know, the mindset is to go 1-0 each week, but the goal, of course, of the season, one of them is to make it to Charlotte. If you guys win the next two, you have a pretty good chance of that. Does Kitchings agree that it's a playoff type part of the season? Do you guys have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I look at it as we got to win Wednesday. We do, and if we'll take care of Wednesday, we'll have great meetings. We'll translate that into a good practice. Gives us a chance to go 1-0 today, and then as we get closer, we get an opportunity then on Saturday to go down and really play a really good football team. You need to go 1-0 every week, and it really doesn't change. And the emotion of maybe this game, no, all the games are important because you get so few of them. And, I know our guys have approached it with a one-game mentality, and it's no different this week.
Anthony Britton, I remember in that goal line stand that you guys had against Wake, I think he had 2 big tackles back-to-back. How much have you seen him grow in his development and just maturity as well?
Yeah, well, he's always been a big man, so he's great. He was born. I mean, he was born big. So
Mom.
Yeah, you just look at him. Goodness, he is a big human being. But you know what? As far as his growth, what he's done, he's a student of the game. You just look at how strong and powerful he is because he takes advantage of all that off-season training, and then too, just as far as how important it is and how competitive he is. He's the guy that I give a handshake to right before practice. He's going to break my hand. So you know what? It's awesome to see him playing great ball as somebody that is here from the state and representing the best school in the country. I know it's important for him to play his best ball, and it's important for him to play really good ball, this weekend.
How different is to coach in November with a D-line depth that you have this year compared to years past, just approaching the last few games?
Yeah, I think, in November, no one feels good. If somebody feels 85%, they're feeling really, really good at this point in the year. But I know our guys are, excited to be able to compete. I know that the depth is super important. And, what you do is it's a next man mentality. And so there'll be a young guy this weekend that's going to have to step up that might not have thought he's going to play 50 snaps. That ends up playing 50 snaps. And you hope that as a coach and then, frankly, as a young man, that they've been preparing for that moment.
Have you ever had a secondary that's developed as well as this one has from the beginning, where things were just trying to get on the same page to as good as they were last week?
Yeah, it's goodness, it's a fun group to work with, and it's neat to see, the hard work that those guys put in, and frankly, it's a testament that those DBs, I mean, they're in the building at 6:30. They're like, nope, coach, we need to meet, and they're with Coach Cox, and they're in this they got that big screen up, and they're watching film because it's important that they continue to elevate their game. And I think you see that hard work paying off. And sometimes, just like in life, it's just incremental. And they're going to have to do another great job this week against a receiving core that might be collectively as good as we faced.
Cam Robinson is the first player, or only player rather, in the last 20 years with a punt block, pick six, and fumble recovery in the same season. What have you seen from him this year?
Got the playmaking, right? And that's what he's continued to do. He wasn't even supposed to block the kick. It was safe punt, and Cam does what Cam does. He goes makes plays, and that's what good players do. Is they do their job, they do it fast, and plays end up coming to you. And that's a neat stat that you share. Is goodness, it speaks about him and his preparation, but you just see it as him as a young man. You know what? Just every area in his life. You know what? He's really focused and he's intense with regards to the preparation, which ends up resulting to good performances on Saturday.
With the secondary, have you guys figured out a science to bringing guys in the transfer portal and making it work? It's the last few years where you've turned over their cornerback position. Is there an art to it? Is there a science to it that you guys figured out this is how you got to bring them in and this is how you got to develop them to make it work on the fly?
Yeah, I think you're always evolving. And I think that, when you just mentioned as far as like our defensive back, I think just as us as a coaching staff, we've adapted, learning as far as new techniques, maybe as far as teaching, as far as recruiting, as far as, all right, what does that look like? And then the other great important piece is really being a good, evaluator to figure out so that you can move your pieces around. And it's one of the great things and great challenges that I know that our coaching staff loves to engage in every day is the opportunity to look at our personnel, say, hey, how do we maximize the number of snaps that guys play while doing a good job to empower them? Because coaches aren't making a single play, but it's our job as coaches to maybe give them an edge so that they can go be productive on Saturdays.
So they were most of them were post spring editions. Do you teach them less and hope that they understand the basics more? Do you throw more at them because they're older? How do you look at it from that perspective?
Yeah, I look at it as the power of getting reps, and we would try to be really, really organized when it comes to practice between putting great, teaching films together when we're in the meeting room, and then when we go out on the practice field, it's looking at, hey, how can we be really efficient with guys' time, and then again continue to keep guys engaged to be always a continuous learner.